Is it possible for small businesses to turn social contribution into a powerful business strategy? I've always believed in philanthropy, and I knew I wanted to give back in some way. While training as a veterinarian, I spent several months in India working for an animal charity. There I was involved in animal husbandry campaigns, supporting donkeys and horses, camels, and even elephants that were working in the field. A seminal moment came for me when I observed the relationship between the drivers and the camels that we were treating. I saw how they weren't just co-workers, but they were mutually dependent on each other for survival. Indeed, some of these camel drivers had such a close relationship with their animals that they'd give them alcohol in the evenings to relax. And one character even showed me how he would share his cigarette with his big, smelly friend. And I did inform the camel of the health risks associated with that behavior. But it soon became clear that if something happened to this working animal, not only would it affect the camel, of course, because the camel would be sick and possibly would die, but also it would affect the livelihood of the camel driver, as he would lose everything and be unable to support himself or his family. Seeing how devastating this could be, in my position I realized I could help in one of two ways. I could either give money to buy a new camel, and I believe the current going rate's about $1,000, or I could be involved in an educational program so that I could help reduce the unnecessary illness and extend the camel's life and utility. There's a picture of the camel driver going to the city. But what I realized when working in India is that whether I gave the money or the educational skills, the constant challenge facing these types of charities is sustainability. And if I really wanted to affect change, I couldn't rely on other people's money to do so. And funneling my own resources to various causes isn't feasible either. So, it occurred to me, if I could build a profitable business around a specialized set of skills, I could then use the profits from that business to fund the sharing of those skills with those in need. This would create a sustainable source of social contribution. So before I set out to build my business, I studied the models that others were using. And for me personally, the most impressive was that of Tom's Shoes. Tom's Shoes founder, Blake Mycoskie, was inspired by what he saw in traveling through Argentina, as again and again he kept seeing shoeless children. And he realized the far-reaching ramifications shoelessness was having on their lives. From health, as without having shoes, they were more easily able to communicate disease, and on their education, because without shoes, they weren't allowed into the school system, and they couldn't even walk to the schools, even if they were. Inspired by what he witnessed, he founded Tom's Shoes in 2006 with the unique promise that for every pair of shoes that he sold, they would donate a pair of shoes to a child around the world. In their first year, he donated 10,000 pairs of shoes. And since then, they have donated over 1 million pairs of shoes. All the while, Tom's Shoes has been growing a wildly successful for-profit business. So how is Tom's Shoes tying their profits to their social contributions impacted their business? Well, firstly, they don't have to spend money on advertising. Instead, they rely on the goodwill and publicity generated from high-profile brand and celebrity endorsements. And this saves them approximately 20% of their gross margin, which is quite significant. And secondly, Tom's employees are its biggest fans. Through working to put shoes on the feet of disadvantaged children, Tom's employees are not only advocates of the cause, but advocates of the company. And talk about a great job that you would receive personal satisfaction every day you'd go to work. So the Tom's Shoes model shows how incorporating a strong social commitment can provide a true competitive advantage, especially considering the Cohn's 2010 study that 80% of consumers say they would switch brands if the other brand had a cause affiliation. Or the 2010 Barclay study that 2 out of 3 consumers would pay more for a product if that product supported a brand. What I came to understand when studying these models is that when you tie profits to social contribution, something interesting happens. As your profits expand, so do your social contributions. And as your social contributions increase, so does the advocacy and goodwill from others, which feeds back into your business as profits. This creates a self-perpetuating loop that is, above all else, sustainable. As I mentioned, I wanted to build a business that had a strong social commitment right from its inception. So I combined my passions of veterinary medicine and web development to develop a company that provides online tools for practices to better engage with their clients. Our adaptation of this model is that for every practice that we sign, we develop a custom social media site for charities of the practice's choosing. This program not only, this is an example of one that we've just done, this program not only provides an incentive for practices to sign with us, but it also provides the charities with the much-needed tools and visibility that they need to help combat that problem of sustainability. So how can other businesses adopt this model? Well, any business can adopt this model with a little forethought and creative thinking. You just have to think outside the box when developing your business approach and ask yourself a couple key questions. What are your business's strengths, and how can those strengths be used to support those in need? The best way to think about this is, let's take some examples. Let's say an accounting firm. An accounting firm could say, for every so many people, new people, that bring them their taxes, they will then donate tax services to nonprofits. Or a veterinary practice could say, for every so many new clients that come to their practice, they will put together a box of medical supplies and send it to a charity in need. Or a small retailer could say, for every so many pieces of art that they sell, they will donate a piece of art to a charity fundraiser. Through donating the business's specialized skills or products, any business can utilize social contributions as a powerful business strategy, not only to help those in need, but also to further their own profits and to improve employee satisfaction. I would like to conclude with a challenge based on a formula that I would like every small business owner to try to apply to their business. The exciting thing is, this isn't a new approach, but with every application of this model, it takes on a new life of its own. For so many X, and X has to be something in your business that represents growth. So this would be the sale of a product, a new client, or a new contract. So for so many X, and the so many part has to be up to the business owner to figure out what they can afford, but they should try to make it as powerful as possible. For so many X, the business will donate Y. And Y ideally will be a product or service from the business, as you can leverage that like no one else can. But it can be money. So if you apply this formula to your business, what can you hope to receive in return? Well, like we've shown, you'll receive increased profits. You'll be able to increase your social contributions sustainably. Your employees working for a cause will see value in what they do beyond just a paycheck. And this will increase their loyalty and will increase their productivity. This provides the meaning, like we heard from a previous speaker. As we all know, small businesses are the backbone of the world economy. And if this approach gains greater momentum, not only will it have a positive impact on small businesses' bottom line, but it will also unleash a powerful yet sustainable source of social contribution. Thank you.